Alright ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the end of another one, and look at it, it turned out to be a pretty marvellous piece. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to work on this chunk of Coober Pedy. Now it does have some problems. You can see here there's a fat end up here, and then there's a really thin tapering off end here. There's a real big dip around here. Now if I was a cabber, I would probably have my cabbing wheels and I would just grind it all the way back to here and then just get an oval out of this. But that's not how I like to handle Opal. I mean, I could do that while I'm carving as well, but I treat it all pretty precious. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the outside, just make sure that it's color bar all the way through, and then we're going to scrub up the face, and we should get one big solid stone out of this end, and then we'll keep this for some inlay work, and I will probably just saw straight across here at some point. Now the biggest concerns are over here with all this sand. So you can see a deep sand pocket. I'll put up some footage of me having a look at this with the torch, because the torch really gives you that x-ray vision. It tells you how bad all this sand over here is as well. Most of it is very surface level. There's just one big pocket over here, a couple big pockets over here. Because these ones on the edge will probably bring that in anyway to form the shape of the final opal, and we should end up with something that's a bit of a oval-like shape. I'll keep it freeform just to maximize the size, but it'll be somewhat of an oval-like shape. All of this will probably just be kept as scraps just for any kind of inlay work that I do in the future. Anyway, let's spin up and see what we can get out of it. It's a bit potchier on this side, a bit more gemmy on this side, so we'll probably end up making this one the face, but it also has those deep sand spots, so we'll see how we go. And away we go, 80 grit sintered diamond. Now the rough rubbing stage we're going through, we're just having a look at all of the edges. There's a few little bits of sand and that rusty kind of color. Got to get rid of those, but we'll flash over that, and instead we'll focus on these little sandy spots. Now I'm using an 80 grit sintered diamond. You don't really have to, but it'll get rid of it super fast this way. And you'll see that this sand absolutely melts. It's not like a hard matrix or anything like that. It's very soft, very loose. You can actually soak it and just scrape away at it with a pick, and you'll actually get rid of most of it. But we just use the 80 grit sintered diamond. It gets rid of it in no time. Just be careful. You don't know when it's going to end, but you'll feel it as soon as it does. You get very used to that as a carver, feeling when all of these sand spots disappear. But we're just going to take them off just to assess the damage, see how deep they're going in. You can see these ones are cleaning up quite well. It's these face ones that you've got to be a little bit scared of, so I'm just very lightly just brushing over the surface of them and seeing that they do disappear very quickly. You are going to get some grains that kind of penetrate deeper into the color, because we're already just about to scrape color there. And you can see some of those sand spots are still present. But that's okay, we won't get rid of them all with the 80 grit sintered diamond. We'll drop down for that. And then we're just getting rid of that last little rusty sand spot on the back. Having a good look at it, just making sure that it disappears. Every now and then you'll find that there's a tunnel of sand that goes all the way through the stone. Super sad, so we just need to check those kind of things before we get really cutting. But now that we've had a look, we'll switch over, get the electroplated diamond disc, just like a credit card, like you used to. You don't do it very much anymore, but just swipe across the surface. You don't have to go all the way through, just that last little part, give it a nice snap. It'll break along the line that you've cut. If you really need to, you can do it on both sides if it's a really thick piece, but this is pretty thin. Just a couple swipes and then snap that off, and we're gonna discard that offcut and we're gonna focus on the main stone. So the main stone, we go back to the 80 grit sintered diamond. This time we're going to properly shape. Now that we've got an idea of the color bar and we've got an idea of what we're working with as the final stone, we can assess and come together, get rid of all of these sharp edges, pick a shape and carve to that shape. It's pretty easy going. At this point you could use a stencil if you want to get yourself a perfect oval or anything. It doesn't have to be an oval, could be absolutely anything you want. But you got to be a little bit careful of overshooting. So eventually you're going to want to switch over to the 600 grit sintered diamond, do that minor shaping and getting rid of everything on the face. Because it's a white opal, the camera's going a little bit funky with the white balance, so I've tried to correct that a bit in post-production. But you can see here, after the 600 grit sintered diamond's done, we're starting to see a lot of the color. I'm pulling up just short of getting all of the potch out of the face. And then we'll just finish it off with the range of sandpaper rolls. That'll get rid of the last of the potch, do the final shaping and just put on a slight dome. We can't do a high dome on this one because the opal's too large and too thin. And then we're just going to get the super serum oxide with the felt and we're going to buff it. At this point, you're really just getting that final polish. You should not have a single pit, a single scratch, a single piece of sand. All of that is well and truly gone. All you're missing is that glossy look. You should even, by the end of those sandpaper rolls, have a little bit of a gloss on it already. This is just to really cap it off and give you that glassy reflection. And then you're all done. Alright ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the end of another one, and look at it, it turned out to be a pretty marvellous piece. And considering the parcel it came out of, I only needed to get about 30 bucks out of this stone, so I've gotten well and truly more than that. It is quite a good gem. Good bit of Coober Pedy. A little bit of potchiness up towards this end, but apart from that, it's pretty nice. Now I'm keeping a piece of white tissue behind it because that helps with the camera. It'll try to auto white balance off the Coober Pedy potch, and that's no good. It really washes out a lot. It's still not showing itself up on camera all that well because in the sun it is an absolute dazzling piece. Every colour in there. Not quite as pinfire as I thought it was going to be, but a really nice stone that will make a really nice pendant one day when I'm confident enough to be able to set it without breaking it. So hopefully that helps. I feel like this one might be one that I'd like to look at under the microscope a little bit more because the color play in it is really cool. And I could sit here all day and watch it move, but we got to call it quits at some point, and this is it. Hopefully you learned something from that one. Pretty simple basic tools, pretty simple basic techniques and tips along the way, and also came out a very cheap parcel. So you can definitely stumble across some of this stuff. No worries. And when you do, hopefully you'll know how to tackle it. All the tools I use were just out of the semi-pro carving kit that I've got on the website, so feel free to check it out if you're interested. Otherwise, if you think you can pick it up somewhere local, try to do that as well, but at least you can see what was used, and if you can get it and cut your own. Super fun, really not that hard. Good luck, I'll put this on away and I'll move on to the next one. I guess I should just quickly show. Just behind it, I've got the tub of water. This is the offcut. Still that same beautiful material, just a really thin piece. This one I might slice up and use for inlay material. Because as you can see, it is definitely usable material. Even if I cut it and use it lengthways like this. Super useful. Much more interesting pattern. It's almost like fingers. So who knows, maybe you'll see this one come up on the channel again sometime soon when I come up with a creative little project for it. But until then, I'll catch you later. Stay safe, have fun, let's get some more gems.